This is what's pissing me off today. I'm Bob Pritchard. Well, the stage is now set for, the next Prime Minister of Canada after a by-election was held out in Alberta. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, is Bob really saying that Pierre Poilievre is going to be the next Prime Minister? No, I don't think so. I'll get into that in just a moment. But the stage is set because, this is the final straw, the last stand for Poilievre. He's done his bit in Ottawa. He lost the last election, lost his own seat, eventually got himself to a by-election out in Alberta in a seat that has never elected anybody but a Conservative. If they had nominated a goldfish out there, that would have been heading off to Ottawa as the representative for the riding, and that's just how strong a Conservative area that is. Now, let's talk about what Pierre is going to be doing. He's heading up to Ottawa, where he really doesn't have a hope in Hades of getting anything done. He'll make lots of statements and arguments, but it really won't be going too far, because I think at this point the country is fairly secure with Mark Carney as Prime Minister, at least for the time being. But because Carney's in a minority government, the net outcome of it is at some point there will be another federal election, and that will be the end of Poilievre. Now, just in case you were wondering about Bob and his anti-Pierre position, the reality of it is that a new survey was released yesterday, and what did it say? More than half of Canadians would be embarrassed for Poilievre to be the Prime Minister of this country. That's not a good position to be in if you're trying to run the place. At any rate, I think the net outcome is that old Doug Ford in Ontario is going to be doing his thing as the Premier, and somewhere down the road, after the next federal election, when Poilievre is completely gone and obliterated, Dougie's going to say, I wonder if I could make Prime Minister of this country. And I'll bet you he could. He seems to have a good handle on politics, and his time in Ontario, I fear, is coming to an end. Not because we're tired of him just yet, but that'll be 15 years as Premier of this province, and time for a change. At any rate, I hope that Pierre has a wonderful time up in Ottawa and makes the best of his venture there. However, I do think this is the beginning of the end, and that's what's pissing me off today. I'm Bob Pritchard.